and welcome to Simply Race. It's 2020 and it's season 4, a brand new season for the Simply Race Endurance Championship. I'm your commentator, Anthony Jordan. Joining me in the commentary box and also racing is Daniel Handover. Daniel, how are we?
I'm very good, thank you. Excited for the first round and looking forward to it.
It is indeed, yeah. 2020 officially starts now here at Simply Race for the SRES Championship and comes with a new challenge, 17 teams.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think what we've seen from testing is there is so much in terms of pace now. The pace is just, everyone's got a bit better, and the gaps compared to teams now is so much smaller now. Yeah. We are going to be fighting for positions a lot closer to each other, I think, this time.
Definitely so, and of course we are at Interlagos now. We all know the main story in the real world of racing with WEC. They are not going to Interlagos, they're actually at the Circuit of Americas, but don't worry, we are bringing it live from Interlagos today for 6 hours of endurance racing. We've got Astons, we've got Porsches, we've got Corvettes, we've got the BMWs out there, and they're so level on pace, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely, the BOP it's just incredible. It really, really is. Any one of these cars can produce the exact same lap time, which at the end of the day ultimately makes for close racing.
It does indeed, and of course last season we had our runners-up, our championship winners I should say, Radicals Online. You know, they're doing very well. They're back here again to try and retake that crown. But the guys who have been at the top of the timetables in practice have been the CamSport teams. Now, we've seen the CamSport, the Fire and the Ice teams. They've been in this championship for quite a few seasons now. And to see them finally at the top of some of these timing tables is great to see. I'm really looking forward to this, to see what they can do.
Absolutely. I think it's a good test to see what, like you said, everyone's at a level playing field. We don't know what's going to happen this season. A lot of people have sort of come and gone in terms of teams. People have changed around teams as well. We've seen a few drivers that have swapped and merged into other teams. It's a very level playing field, and I don't think any team is entirely sure of what the other teams are going to be able to achieve.
No, I'm not too sure either. So apparently one of our mic is off. Is there something wrong with mine? Okay, so we're going to use my mic now. So we've just been told, as there is a moving sign behind us, someone trying to stay out of shot. Not sure who that is. But yeah, so we're going to use my microphone now, apologies for that. But yeah, no, an absolutely fantastic grid that we've seen out there, and of course the pace that we've seen with the BOP. Of course, we've got Team E-Brit, well, E-Team Brit, I should try and get that. Always a bit of a tongue twister for that one. Obviously, they're using the hand controls out there, especially designed for these guys. You know, they've got the throttle, the brake on there as well with the team. It's great to see them out here as well.
Yes, absolutely.
We're using my mic now, aren't we?
It's a fantastic achievement what they can do. It's absolutely incredible what they are doing. When you actually watch them drive around, it's insane. It really, really is. And credit to those guys. And the times that they're doing are up there. Really, really are.
It is good. And I had a go with the hand control. Obviously, no practice with it whatsoever. I found it quite complicated. But seeing those guys, I was looking at them earlier, flawless with it. They've been practicing really hard with it. It's been great to see. And yeah, everything out there. So look forward to it. If you are unsure of the teams who are out there, we've got a cool kit for you. So, guys, if you do want to know who the teams are, check this out.
there we go. We have seen all of the teams, seen all the liveries, some incredibly stunning liveries. To be fair, as I said, some people, as you can see, a few people waving on the stream there. So I think we're just about to go into qualifying. We can just hear it over the tannoy. We are just about to start qualifying. We see Will Dendy there with a very nice mugshot of himself on the stream. Yeah, liveries looking absolutely incredible. So we've got a few new people that have actually merged into teams. You've still got the, as Ant was saying, you've still got the originals from this championship. You've got Camsport Fire, Camsport Ice, Radicals, Pure Motorsport, Lamati, Avanti Racing, both from a couple of my teams, Positively Racing R and Positively Racing RS, sporting the very, very loud and bright pink, purple and blue liveries. It's going to be a very, very interesting race indeed. Like we said, we're not too sure how it's going to pan out. Everyone is now on a completely level playing field with this new season, so we're really unsure as what is actually going to happen. Who knows? Like I said, we have seen some surprising times actually out in testing and in the practice sessions. I think I was saying one of the Camsport teams is looking to be on pole at the moment. That was in practice anyway. So it is a very, very interesting start to even practice. And I think teams are what they're going to be starting to do. Actually, we have some. We have a very nice new overlay that's been started to design out. Lovely new overlay that you can see on the screen now. So just going to run down the order. This was from practice, I believe. So we've got in pole P1, car number 11, Camsport 5 with a 1:30.432. Very, very quick lap time indeed. El Bandito, only 0.03 seconds back. So again, very, very, some incredible times and very, very close. Camsport Ice, so both Camsport teams in the top 3, which is fantastic for them. I'm sure they'll be incredibly pleased with that. Radicals Online, 0.2 of a second behind Camsport 5 with a 1:30.6. Pure Motorsport, again, just under 3/10 back from Camsport 5. You've got Lamati Racing, Avanti Racing, Scuderia Minetti, Positively Racing RS, so one of our POS racing teams at 0.7 back from that 1:30.4. Excite the Barracuda, interesting name. Red Shell Racing, Positively Racing R, Trailblazers, E-Team Brit, Casual Apex, ACR Racing, I believe is a new team, we haven't seen them before, and as well as Team Jaguar joining us for the first round of the SRES. And how are you doing? You're back? Yeah, fantastic.
Yes,
We've now got 2 people.
Cool. Yes, so no, it's just sorting out a camera. Apologies for that. I kind of disappeared for a brief moment. But the reason for that, you'll look forward to that a little bit later on when we've got some of the drivers and we're a bit more chilled out at the start. You'll join us in the swanky leather sofa.
It's fantastic. I'm really looking much forward to it.
It's very nice. Don't Excite the Barracuda down, though. Please don't Google that either.
No, it's good.
Too early, too soon?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about that. Sorry about that. I'm going to let's move on swiftly from that. Yeah, no, it's nice to have the new, like I said, a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere when we're actually going to be interviewing some of the team bosses as well. Like I said, we're going to be, I think, just picking and choosing some people and seeing how their race is going because we haven't really got long. 6 hours, a lot can happen. There's going to be a lot of action, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot can happen. Of course, the last time we were here at Interlagos, it was a 24 hours, so we had a lot more time. But do you remember that? What was it, 3rd lap crash that we had between 2 of the teams? It was Epps and Ross Gunn, I believe. 2 very incredibly talented drivers, one who've raced in previous years in the British Touring Car Championship and one currently racing at COTA right now in the WEC Championship. So, 2 very talented real-world drivers coming together on lap 3 of a 24-hour endurance race at this track.
I don't actually think I was racing at Simply Race. No, this was before my time.
This was before your time.
Was before. I'm sure I've seen the video somewhere. I'm pretty sure I have seen it previously, but no, this was before my time. This is the first race that Positively Racing have done at Interlagos.
Yeah, well, we'll try and get a bit of a recap of that one as well for you, just for the people at home. If you don't know what I'm referring to, can watch that. I mean, it's it was an absolute dramatic start to that race, and I think the commentators on that particular moment broke the microphones in excitement of
I can imagine.
Lap 3 of a 24-hour endurance race and 2 real-world drivers coming together. But hopefully, this time around, we shouldn't see anything of the sort. You can see a very happy driver there, just getting themselves sorted out, ready to go. Actually, I think we have got the film. We can't, but I don't think. Yeah, we won't get it up for you just yet. We'll get it up in a moment. But 15 corners to this track. Many confusing names. The only corner that really doesn't confuse me is, of course, turn 1, the SRES. You know, the very famous corner that is. Of course, you saw famous incidents happening there in previous years in terms of F1 as well, with Max Verstappen and.
Yes.
Was it Esteban Ocon?
Yes, it was Esteban Ocon, and then obviously the altercation they had afterwards.
Yes, of course, we all remember that one. And of course, if we want to go into a debate, if you're in the chat and you remember this incident as well, I remember this incident as well. And I'm pretty sure I remember Ocon got the penalty there. And I have no idea why.
No, neither do I.
It was 100% Max Verstappen's fault.
I can't see. For some reason, that's an unpopular opinion. But I can't quite understand why.
No.
It baffles me. Yeah, I think Max was completely in the wrong. But also another one going through the SRES, I believe, was 2013, which was Hamilton's last race ever for McLaren, and I think he got taken up by Hulkenberg. I believe.
Ooh, yes.
I remember. Was he in the Force India?
I believe so. Yeah. I think I remember that one. And of course, you have the other one. Was it 2008? You had the Lewis Hamilton win as well at that time, and But while we've been discussing this, I believe we have actually got the footage ready for you. It's 2 minutes long, so bear with us. But check this out. This is from the 24-hour from a few years ago from Interlagos. Check this out.
30 Rishingu in 9th and Race Logic in 10th. We now look back from the Roscoe car. You can see the Minion sponsorship there. I don't know if the driver will be looking that relaxed throughout the race here. And we go forward and you see how close it is at the front. It looks, to be honest, at the moment, Ryan, like Simply Ace and Norfolk and Chance maybe have a slight pace advantage over Downforce, and Piers is doing well to just keep them behind them and get into a rhythm.
Yes, well, it looks like Pierce is going a little bit more defensive on his lines, where the chasing pack seems to be a lot more smooth, swooping fast through the corners, and as they come onto the pit straight, the Corvette, I believe, has a better chance. Although Norfolk and Chance,
here we go. He's going down. Oh, there's good contact. They've made contact. Oh my goodness! It's a crazy start to the race. Is there going to be damage for Michael Epps? The reigning champions are in trouble already. This is unbelievable stuff. I mean, come on, guys. You're on lap 3 or 4 of a 24-hour race. That is not the way to go. And Piers Pryor now has a chance to run away at the lead. We've got purple helmets up into second. Absolute drama here at the start of the 24 hours of Interlagos. And what was all that about there? We're going to see a replay now, actually.
We got a replay now, and it looked like Epps goes to defend.
And it seems like a switchback from Ross. Epps kind of, it's a tricky one. I mean, Mike was maybe moving slightly left at the start of the braking zone, but then did straighten out. It's a big impact. They're going to have big damage, and that is going to throw a massive spanner into the works here. If we look at that again, we're taking the replay. So I think what happened is Epps kind of defended the inside, left enough space for Ross Gunn to do a kind of cut back to the inside, a bit of a dummy. And I think what happened is as Epps travelled left, Gunn didn't move left enough as well to counter. They both go flying off. I don't know if Norfolk and Chance have got damage as well, but yeah, you can see it there. He's just left him enough room, and I think Ross Gunn maybe caught off guard by the early breaking point of Epps. Maybe could have gone to the left a bit more. It's a tricky one to decide, though. I don't know why they were so close at this early stage.
I don't know. It's early doors, but to be honest, obviously the borders of the circuit are the white lines.
What drama that was from a few years ago for the SRES Championship.
Oh, mic's not on. Sorry.
My mic wasn't on. Noob mistake. There we go, we're back. But yeah, that was from a few years ago from the 24-hour Interlagos. And again, what drama that we saw from that.
I know.
Lap 3.
That's the main thing. Lap 3, you don't expect anything like that to happen. Well, you don't expect anything to that for like, let me try that again. You don't expect anything like that to happen at all, let alone on lap 3.
Of a 24-hour
race. Yeah. I think it was a bit of a misfire from both drivers there, a bit of a brain misfire.
Well, yeah, you could see it there from the commentary graciously provided from John Monroe and Dan Blake at the time from Downforce UK. And, it was seeing it just looked like the defensive move had been done from Simply Ace at the time, and Mike Epps at the wheel. He'd moved across. You had Norfolk and Chance. I need to say that slowly because the commentators for that one got a bit... got a bit done over with that one slightly, that team name, which is greatly appreciated for them. But, yeah, it was the defensive line had already been come across. He then continued had to go for it and continue to defend, and it just colliding into the braking zone.
It was one of those things you could see that happening
from a mile away.
Yeah, I know, and it is one of those things. I mean, it is a sort of a racing incident to an extent, but as well, both drivers could have done something for that to have been avoided. Like I said, you don't want to see that, and I can imagine the damage sustained by at least the Corvette that went into the barrier. That must have been significant.
The Corvette did take a lot of damage in that one. Like, we were in the pit lane for a good couple of laps. You know, there were 3 laps down.
Yeah.
3 minutes into the race. But the good thing is that it was a 24-hour endurance race.
You
can
claw that
plenty
back.
of time to come back from that, and that was the key thing. They actually went on to win the race as well. So
really,
they went on to win the race on that one.
Enough.
So the fact that they came back from that far just shows you
very
that
impressive.
even in the 6 hours, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I think
very
the
impressive.
Camsport guys are going to walk past us in a moment. I think. Are you off for? There you go. There's Colin from Camsport. There we go.
I'm sure.
And there's Ben Brown as well for the Ben Brown fan club as well. But yeah, so obviously, guys, stick around with us here on the sofa, and we'll get driver interviews as well throughout the day. We'll get the guys on the sofa.
Yep.
I think I've adopted this seat now. I'm going to put my name on it. I'm quite happy with it. But yes, we'll get drivers throughout. Of course, Dan, you're taking to the track at points as well, aren't you?
I know it's going to be. I think I'm going to be doing maybe an hour. I'm definitely going to do the one stint. See if I can get a bit more time out in the car as well. So maybe sort of hopefully a second stint in there as well. So I'm sure there'll be other people that will more than happily come and take my place for a little bit. Commentating, I'm sure that there's loads of people that really do want to get involved. But no, I'm excited but nervous at the same time. I think if you're not a bit nervous, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So I am a little bit nervous. I think we need to go out there and mainly enjoy it. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Pace-wise, did a 10-15 minute shakedown just before the stream started. Felt really comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is always good, especially in an endurance race like this. The pace is not a necessity. The pace is a secondary thing.
Yeah.
If you can gain that consistency and that sort of confidence, you will do, I think, a lot better than if you're out and outright just going for pace.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think we're going to get qualifying underway. I think the guys are in the cars now. I can see the beautiful thing about sitting in this position is I can actually see the venue. When you're tucked behind this white wall here, that's the streaming studio. That's where we're tucked away behind. We can't see the venue. It's great. We've got loads of information behind there. The only thing we can't see is the actual track itself. And now we bring to you the time scored. And we've got the new overlay here as well, which is great to see. Now, this is super helpful to actually knowing what cars we're looking at. Obviously, I know which car we're looking at here. This is, of course, the Radicals Online Aston Martin, the reigning championship winners from last year. They're obviously back in force now in the Aston Martin for this season. In the bottom corner there as well, you can see the Camsport Ice car. Now, there we go. It moves to the big screen. You can see there the number 3. Let me go through the numbers. You've got the green 3, that is their actual position. You've got the number 12, that is the car number 12, and then, of course, the team name Camsport Ice. That will show up for each car that we flick to now and then, so you'll know exactly who you're watching and what position they're in. And also, as well, new for this season, is that we've got the gap between cars, not just the leader. I knew that was one thing that teams were, or people watching the stream, that was something that they were always wanting to know, is what's the gap between teams, and we couldn't show it, but obviously now we can. So, the guys at home, it helps you out massively, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really good to have. I think a lot of people are watching it. They like, you like data. People like data. They want to see what's going on. They want to be involved more on the action. And I believe having this overlay, like I said, as you can see actually now on your screen, currently in second position, number 14, El Bandito, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. It's good having that sort of information. We've also got, as you can see, that's just popped up for Positively Racing R, the pit indicator icon. So as soon as you see that P, you know that person is in the pits. Again, it's just good. The more, for me personally, the more data, the better.
Yeah, exactly that. El Bandito, 2 drivers in this team. You've got Will Dendy and James Holland. James Holland, formerly from the Pink Panther team.
Yep.
Pink Panther are not here, of course, as you can see on the board, but they've formed together to rebrand El Bandito and bring the car back.
Absolutely.
I think the last time we saw El Bandito was We saw El Bandito in the Valencia, 6 hours, SRES Season 3, and we also saw them at Okayama as well. They didn't finish Okayama because it was Will Dendy on his own doing a 12-hour after doing a full day's work, and he was a bit tired, and I think he resigned after a few hours. Credit to him, though. I think he did push out 6 hours of that race.
That's very impressive.
And,
very
you know, on his own, and then thought, no, I'm knackered, I need to stop.
I can completely understand that. I mean, like I said, even doing sort of like 3 or 4 hours at a time is pretty impressive, let alone doing 6 after a full day's work. But that team, that team will be
coming out the microphone in front of us.
That team will be very, very quick. So definitely one team to look out for is El Bandito. As you can see, they've actually just topped the timing screens for about 3 seconds. And now we're starting to see some times coming in. Again, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. So we've got Cam Sport Ice, again, with a very, very quick lap, 1:30.8.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah,
that's a very impressive time. That's
and look at that, Cam Sport Fire as well just beat them the 1:30.7. So that just shows you Cam Sport Fire and Ice straight away in qualifying at the top of the leaderboards, absolutely neck and neck. Yellow's in sector 2. I'm sure that's due to a spin. Well, it would be due to a spin. That's what yellows are for. But yeah, bring your chats coming in. Get your comments coming in on YouTube, Facebook, anything like that. We have got our devices in front of us. We can see what you're saying. And we've got a few more comments coming in here. We've got Grey Bob, it's Graham from the Scuderia Minerdi team.
All right.
He's commenting with Woo, SRES is back. Yes, Woo, indeed, SRES is back. Minerdi, best team, of course. I'm biased. Yes.
As you would be, as am I to a certain extent. I would like to try and keep a level head, but at the same time, obviously, with Positively Racing, it's nice to see one of our cars in the top 3. Positively Racing RS has just been a pretty good lap time, just into the 1:30s. At the moment on your screen, car currently in P6, Excite the Barracuda. Also, some more information you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You've got last lap, personal best, and also the gap to first.
Obviously, it's gap to first at the moment because we're qualifying.
Yes.
When it comes to the race, it'll be gap to the car in front. Obviously, you don't need a gap to the car in front in qualifying. It's not important. You want to know where they are in conjunction to the pole sitter or the provisional pole sitter at the moment. 25 minutes left on the clock of qualifying. And like I say, the top, where are we? Top 10. Top 10 separated by less than a second.
That's not a lot of time. Again, I think what that shows is, one, the BOP is pretty incredible.
Yep.
And how close these cars are. And let's not forget, we've got an extra team in there as well. We've now got 17 cars.
Yeah, 17 teams out there. So 2 more cars to cause carnage
well,
through turn 1.
Yeah,
exactly. As these guys going around. Here's Trailblazers. This is a very striking livery. Kind of looks like one of those camo liveries that you see in testing. That the guys, they don't want to see. Yeah,
it's what Red Bull sort of run.
Yeah, in testing. They've not done it this year.
No.
They've not done it. But yeah, it's kind of one of those camo liveries to stop people taking photos and seeing the special little winglet designs that they've got on the front and any aerodynamic upgrades that they've done on the actual car chassis itself. But again, very striking livery. I'm not sure. I think it's just Trailblazers just written all over the car, but in black and white.
Okay. I mean, I can sort of see it. As soon as you said that, I can see it now.
Nice camera angle there.
I know. I do like a static camera angle.
Yeah,
don't you?
I do like a static
it
camera
looks
as
very,
well.
very good.
Very good.
This is actually on board now with Positively. On board. We're following Positively Racing RS. At 1:30.8, their personal best as well. I've actually just seen at the top of the times, Cam Sport Ice 1:30.2.
Wow.
That's a very, very quick lap time. And Cam Sport Fire less than 2/10 behind. That team is.
A quick question I have to ask you.
Yes.
Obviously, that's your logo on the front of the car and on the back. How much did that cost you to get that big of a sticker on an Aston Martin?
You see, that was some light persuasion from our team principal, because I have to admit, it is quite a outlandish.
It is a bold branding that you've got there. It's like you've seen a Positively Racing, you're just like, no, this is my car.
This is my car.
Stuck a sticker on the front of it there.
No, it's nice to be able to. Good thing as well is because this esports now becoming a lot bigger thing. People are now starting to get real sponsorship coming in. I'm not saying that I am obviously, but you're seeing a lot more teams actually even for the liveries on here. You're seeing some real world products and real-world services actually being put onto esports team cars, which I think is a really, really good thing.
All you have to do is look at the stream itself. You know, you see Silverstone Composites, you know, these guys are fantastic job providing the trophies for the 24-hour last year and for the SRES Championship this year. They've got all the trophies for that as well. Absolutely fantastic for them. You've got Anytime Fitness as well in the corner as well. I don't go to the gym personally, but if you do want to pick a gym, that gym is definitely the one to go to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And again, you can see it all on the side of the track as well. You've got the track branding as well. If you see at the side, you've got things that Hydrate, you know, those guys always, you can see Lamatti Racing clipped one of the Thrustmaster signs. Again, some more sponsorship there. Thrustmaster on the side. You know, we were running the TSPC wheels here in the venue with the T3PA pedals, T3PA Pro pedals, I should say. You know, they're all the same across each and every simulator. Absolutely identical pieces of kit for all the teams. And, you know, that's where that comes down to, is that fairness, you know.
Yes.
You see it in Formula One, and oh, it's not that fair. You know, these guys, they've got the Mercedes power unit, and they're absolutely flying away with the championship. And I have to say, well, I touch wood, it doesn't happen. That, you know, with this new DAS system that Mercedes, all the controversial things as well. You know, I feel like the season's already over before it started.
Yeah, hopefully not. You know, it's one of those things that we all like. I will admit, I am a McLaren fan, biased to a McLaren fan, but you know, I do support Mercedes. I do support Lewis Hamilton.
It's broken.
Again, some people do. You know, let's not go there. But some people, as an unpopular opinion, to supporting Hamilton. But like I said, I like him. Have followed him since he started in 2007. And yes, the DAS system. I mean, it's already been banned for the 2021 season.
Yes.
So this is the only season that it will run.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So it'll be good to showcase. One thing that I do miss in Formula One is the massive innovation steps.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a bit few and far between now.
You don't see them often.
No, I think
anymore.
The last one was probably Brawn double diffuser.
Yeah.
Or maybe the F duct.
Yeah, I would say something like that. You know, one is money. The cost of it. So, you know, Formula One has become a much more expensive over the seasons, and I know that they've even tried in the previous years, you know, to cut down on those prices for the smaller teams. But it doesn't seem to have worked in a way, and you know, there's a lot more action in it. Yellow flags again in Sector 2. Not sure what's caused that. Again, they clear fairly quickly. But yeah, it's a big shame for that one. But yeah, we'll see. Looking forward to the 2020 season for that one, and I'm sure everyone else who's watching the stream, motorsport fans and all, are looking forward to that as well. Back, of course, to what we're actually on at the moment. SRES, it's season 4, round 1, 6 hours of Interlagos, and 20 minutes remaining of qualifying, and you can see the leaders there. Now we've got still the top 10. Under the 1 second mark. No, I scratched that. It's now the top 11 underneath the 1 second mark. 0.8 of a second separate the top 11 teams, which is absolutely fantastic. My quickest time around this track is terrible. I think my quickest time was actually it was about 4 or 5 seconds off the pace.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not... The circuit itself, Interlagos, is absolutely fantastic. Brilliant circuit. Me, personally, I can't drive it. I'm terrible at it.
I know what you mean. It's not my quickest track. Like I said, again, the testing I did felt pretty comfortable. Track does feel good. The tyres as well, I think, are going to play a big factor into this, because what you normally have is you'll have about 2 or 3 laps where you can go absolutely flat out and you've got loads of grip, you feel really confident in the car, and then all of a sudden there's like a small, almost like a mini cliff, and then they drop to a certain point and then they'll stay there. It can catch a few people out, and I believe it has in some of the testing we've done. And you almost lose, I think, probably getting on for even up to half a second after like the first 3 or 4 laps. So, again, whether people will try and conserve their tyres, it will be interesting to see.
It would be interesting to see. You know, in practice and everything like that, I was sneaking around the team, seeing what information I can find out, and I heard a slight over my ear was short shift up into 6, you'll save fuel on the back straight. And so I was just like, okay. And now I've just released that information to everyone. So
there we go.
Welcome.
Now everyone's on a level playing field.
You're welcome.
Fuel saving is going to be a very big thing, because as it's a 6 hour, I'm pretty sure, and I think a lot of the teams have probably figured this out, is you should be able to do an hour of driving. If you can do the hour's worth of driving per stint, obviously you'll only have to do 5 pit stops. If you can't make that hour, you will have to do a splash and dash, which will cost time. It's worth losing, 2 or 3 tenths a lap because you're having a fuel save, maybe change up a little bit early, as we see a Porsche of the Casual Apex. Porsche going very sideways and
Casually
bit of grass
going off
cutting
circuit.
as well. Oh, wow, look, we've just been given a new piece of information here.
An electronic tablet.
I know.
With many numbers.
This is very, I do like data. Don't we? I like data. It's
Oh, I
fantastic.
like a bit of data.
Yes,
a little bit of data.
I've lost my train of thought there. Fuel saving, that was it. You're going to have to try and make the car in a stint last an hour, because otherwise you will lose probably up to in the pits by doing that splash and dash. So I think we're going to see a bit of conservative driving. We would hope to see some conservative driving in the first stint, just to see. I think people are going to try and find their feet, see how they can do, and see what sort of times they can get with the fuel saving. And then I think into the second stint, we're going to see some teams starting to push a little bit harder, because they're going to figure out by that point what sort of times they can do and how much fuel they can actually save.
Definitely so, and fuel saving is not my forte. I like to rev the nuts off the car, use as much fuel as humanly possible,
Absolutely.
and get to the end as fast as I can, but may have to do about 6 or 7 pit stops in the process of
But it's
a
fun, though.
20-minute race.
It's fun.
It is fine. More comments coming in. Who's qualifying for Radicals? So who's in the car for Radicals? That's an excellent question. That's information that we have in our normal commentary box, but we don't have it. We've not actually brought it up either. So we'll sort that out. We'll let you know in just a moment. I'm sure someone who's sneaking around our seating area will gladly go over to the screen and find out. Thank you. You got the hint, and he's running at full chat now to find out. So we'll get that information for you. More comments coming in. Buzzing to see Cam Swartz smashing it in quali from Carl Papri there. Yeah, great to see them at two. And it's apparently Callum Cripps in the car.
Very, very quick driver indeed.
Yes, for Radicals. Quick when he wants to be. How many different cars are there? That's coming from Radtech. So, different cars, I think it's four different cars. So
yes,
you've got the BMW.
Yep. Aston Martin,
Porsche.
And...
Corvette.
That's it?
That's it, yeah, four cars.
There we go.
So 4 different cars in total out there. And of course, Radtech, familiar to the 24 hours in previous years. I believe they take part in at least season 1 of SRES as well. They were in the Aston Martin with their very vibrant green and black
I do
livery.
like a bold colour scheme.
Yes, it was very bold.
As you can tell from Pos Racing.
Emily Wilson has come in. Sounds like the commentary team have got some upgrades with the sofa and tablet. Yes. Yes,
It's very
we
nice.
do. It's cushy. It's better than a broken office chair.
Yeah, that was the problem we had in the last 24 hours. But
So
it's been, we've got a couple of people that are coming to join us, actually.
you won't be in shot, though.
They won't be in shot.
Yeah, the shot kind of cuts off from where I am. But, yeah, it's... no, we've got some people in joining us on the seating area. We've got a big 50-inch. I think it's 50-inch. Can't tell.
Yeah. A big team.
48.
So we've just been shouted as 48 inch.
Someone shouting across an ominous voice across the venue. It's a 48. So yeah, we've got a big TV screen. Lights on for the Positively Racing car. Not sure why. It's daylight.
Probably by accident.
By accident, probably. Maybe they've been flashing someone. Ooh, lost the back end there slightly. Out the SRES. Here's the Camsport Ice car. Currently a provisional pole sitter, only by 7/100ths of a second, 7/10ths of a second. Oh, what a big moment there. Losing the back end and regains perfectly. Look at that.
Round of applause.
Absolute
Round of applause
textbook. Big round of applause in the venue for the Camsport Ice team. That's track limits corner cutting. So that's a 5-place grid penalty for Camsport Ice.
That was...
I only tease. I only tease.
Yeah, that was... the race hasn't even started yet, and we've already had the best save so far. That's the benchmark.
That's one of the reasons we poked the BMW.
That-
Is because it can really go for it. It slides so slowly.
Yeah, and you need to take the mic. You can't.
Yeah. If you...
Yeah, so I think... I'll tell you what, should we do a rundown of the times? What do you reckon?
Let's do that. They are a bit static at the moment. No one's really upgrading times, anything like that. Camsport ISO, currently provisional pole. They've done a 1:30.294. I think this tablet's got a little bit more information in terms of actual times out there, because at the moment I can't see times. It's just boards. Oh, thank goodness it hasn't got a password on it. Apparently slightly delayed this application as well that I'm using. So there we go. I'll just use the screen. Camsport Fire have now just gone to P1. 1:30.164. Camsport Ice now in second place. Radicals Online in P3. They're 2 tenths off from the Camsport Fire team at the moment. Lamati Racing in 4th place, 0.4 of a second. Scuderia Minerdi in 5th. Apparently, according to Graham on the chat, the best team in the world. We'll see about that. But yeah, 0.4 off the pace in 5th place at the moment. El Bandito, the new banded team with Pink Panther, and of course the original El Bandito. They're currently in 6th place, 0.5 off. Then it's Pure Motorsports, the number 15 car, in 7th place. Then Positively Racing R. Is that your car?
Yes, I believe. Yes, that is.
Okay, and that was had a bit of drama earlier on today as well, didn't it? That one.
We did.
You know, there was few and far in between. There are technical issues at the venue, and we do have some sims that do go down. And amazingly, this morning, your sim was one of them. The PC just decided to stop.
Yes.
It was something that we rarely see here at the venue. But the Simply Race team were on it, swift and fast, got a brand new PC up and running and on your sim. And you still managed to get out for qualifying.
I know, yeah. I like I said, fair play to, and we do appreciate obviously Simply Race's efforts, and we are now back out. Actually, I believe should know my own teams, but I believe we are Positively Racing RS, car number 5, which is pod 5, I believe. Yes.
So you're RS.
Yes, we are RS. Not
Okay.
R.
So when I asked you, that's your car, isn't it? R. And
Yes.
you said yes.
It's not.
You
It's
lied.
RS. Yes.
Excellent.
we
Okay,
go.
cool. So joining me in the commentary box, stand your hand over. Liar. So a couple of switches around as well. Avanti Racing has actually just moved up into 5th place. They've put in a corker of a lap. 1:30.5, I believe they put out. So they're doing very well now in 5th place with 11 minutes left on the timer. Back to where we originally were. Of course, Pure Motorsport, they've gone down into 8th now. Positively Racing R, they're in 9th. Then it's Excite the Barracuda. Again, I'll stress you, please don't type that in on Google. Then Positively Racing RS in 11th place. Red Shell Racing in 12th. Casual Apex in 13th. E-Team Brit in 14th place, using the hand control steering wheel at the moment as well. And then Team Jaguar, who are racing in a Porsche, makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Then ACR Racing in 16th, and Trailblazers rounding out the 17-car grid in, 17th place. There we go. Here's the number 1 car. This is Red Shell Racing, currently in P12 at the moment. Of course, the number 1 indicating that they're in simulator number 1
Yes.
in the venue. That's what that number replicates. It doesn't mean their championship winning number from that one. Here is your reigning champs, Radicals Online, in the pod number 10 in the venue. 3rd place at the moment, and 10 minutes left on the clock. I'm sure that they're trying everything that they can to get that Aston round here as quickly as they can.
Absolutely. What you're going to find now is, I'm pretty sure that's been happening for the entire session, is what they'll do 2 or 3 laps where the tyres are at their optimum point, and then they'll pit, won't take on any fuel, and then they'll go back out for another 2 or 3 laps. As we can see, actually on your screen now, E-Team Brit, the Aston Martin, very, 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 very good livery. I do like the liveries on these cars. The new season is showing some really, really good liveries. As I said, they're still currently P40, 1.6 seconds off that 30.1 set by Camsport Fire. So again, just an incredible times. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Oh, that for a split second, and now it's gone again. So not too sure what that was. I think still the top 11 only separated by 0.7 of a second. So you can see the level of competition now that's going on in this race. Also, it does mean what you could have. People could actually, so if you get, say for example, you've got Positively Racing RS on the back now, it could be a fairly big train, potentially the top 8, top 9, even top 10 cars, all following each other because the gaps just aren't that big. We don't know how it's going to work yet. This is obviously only qualifying. Race pace could be completely different. There could be some different strategies playing out. We have no idea until it happens.
Oh, I really wish you hadn't cut to me because
Sorry.
I'm going to lie. I'm not going to tell the truth. I totally wasn't listening to you then, so I completely lost where you were.
Sorry. Talking about
I was
gaps.
looking at the gaps. Okay.
Yes.
So they're not separated by that much actually. Yeah, like they say, the top 11, 0.7 of a second. So that gap's getting ever smaller, and we're seeing that many teams on that close of a pace within 6 hours. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Scuderia Minerdi just getting out of the way there of Lamati Racing, who seem to be on a quick lap at the moment. The only team in the pit lane is E-Team Brit. You can see there with the pit, and actually Trailblazers has just entered the pit lane as well. Obviously, they're going to be wanting to sort their strategy out, getting the soft compounded tyres on. New fastest lap.
Wow.
First team into the 129s, and it is Camsport Fire. So Camsport Fire on fire at the moment.
Absolutely. They're very, very impressive. That's very, very quick. Lamati Racing actually just putting in a very quick lap time as well. Currently now up to P3, pushing Radicals online down to P4. Callum's just looking at the screen, looking a bit impressed there, are we? No, he's all right? Okay, good. Good. It's qualifying. It's a 6-hour race. Like I said, anything could change, and I'm sure it will do. Another yellow in Sector 2, which is now gone again, so
I'm not surprised, Sector 2. Sector 2 is definitely the hardest section of this circuit. The only downside to that wall is in Sector 1, you have the SRES. That's commonplace for people to go off. You've got a very heavy braking zone to a very, I'd say it was more off-camber first turn 1 corner. It kind of falls away from you and then it comes back. So it's really quite difficult to get the weight of the car to transfer over for the second part, and that's always where I lose it. But Sector 2, this is where we saw the Camsport Ice car cut the corner, cut the track, and set a new personal Sector 2 time, which I'm sure was swiftly deleted by race control. I don't think it was the quickest way around.
No.
But here's Casual Apex, the nice striking green and black livery there with the matte colours as well. I do like a matte livery.
Do you know what? I'm never was really one for matte cars. I'm liking them more and more now.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've actually. Is this sort of one of the first cars we've seen with a matte livery in the SRES?
Well, no, we've seen plenty of matte liveries.
Right, okay.
I think the first team to actually sport a matte livery in SRES was probably the Downforce Aston Martin from quite a few seasons back. Yeah, so they had a cracking livery. I really liked that. But I think the best livery on this grid by a long way is the Avanti Racing car.
I was hoping it was going to be positively racing there.
No. I'm
to
going to say the Avanti Racing.
Is that the chrome?
It is the chrome car, yeah, with the matte the matte black back end, the chrome car. Here it is. Absolute gorgeous livery. To the man who designed this, I take my hat off to you. Well done.
It's a fantastic looking livery. I don't think we've seen, well, I've not personally seen, in the time that I've been to Simply Race, I've not seen a chrome livery, or a chrome livery at least that's predominantly chrome.
Well, you've got to remember that all these liveries, they're done by the teams themselves. Some are done by Matt Goodgescott. Actually, Matt Goodgescott from Camsport did the majority of the liveries, so an absolutely fantastic job from him. We very much appreciate his hard work through the winter months to get these liveries ready for today's 6-hour endurance race. And this livery here, you can see there, just the reflection of it is brilliant. And I've seen how they do it. It's layers upon layers of files in a Photoshop. Other editing profiles platforms are available, but is what? Sorry,
GIMP is the program we use.
I'm not going to pronounce that. It's a genuine piece of software, but yeah, I'm not going to announce it. There we go. But just under 5 minutes left on the timer. We're currently looking at ACR Racing in the number 9 Porsche. Just joining the mountain circuit as well there. I think that's Excite the Barracuda in the Corvette. Yes, it is. Just slotting in behind them. Again, a quick dash of yellow in Sector 2. Running wide is the ACR Racing Porsche as they head through now up the hill. Now it's a hard section here. Here's another Porsche. This is another striking livery. This is the Jaguar Team Jaguar in the number 3 Porsche.
It does look a bit odd on a Porsche, doesn't it?
It's quite Tron-based, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's, again, very striking. There's a lot of striking liveries in this series, I think we've seen this year.
There is,
a lot of striking liveries.
Very bold colours, in your face. Here I am, Jaguar on a Porsche.
Yes, I don't think it's ever been said.
No, I don't think
Jaguar
it's
on a Porsche. That's not.
I don't think it was said at all.
But at the end of the day, it's a shame that we haven't got Jaguars actually racing. I don't think there's any sort of Jaguars racing in any series now, is there? Maybe the odd one or two. But
well, you've got, of course,
apart from Formula E.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually a Jaguar.
And then you have the E-Pace Jags as well. They're going to be starting their own series as well. Yeah, I believe so. So that big 4x4 looking E-Pace.
Oh, they're doing their own series.
I believe they're going to be setting up their own series. Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's the future, isn't it? That is the future of motorsport. It's
you want to know what the future of Formula One is? It's Formula E.
Exactly. At some point, they will amalgamate into one. Well, Formula One. I doubt they'll change the name. It will just be. Formula One will just become, they'll just Formula E and then go from there, really. Which it's an inevitability, isn't it?
It is. 3 minutes left on the clock. Keep your comments coming in on YouTube, Facebook, anything like that. We will try and read them out as best as possible. We've got another one here coming not long ago. Emily Wilson, I reckon it'll be a close race. There's not a lot of time, or there's not a lot in the timings, I should say. And there isn't, no, as we're saying, yeah, the top 11 separated by 8 tenths of a second. Less than a second. That's obviously just changed because of the Campsport Fire, who have just put in another fastest lap of the race as I talk at 29.8. So they're the only team in the 29s and are absolutely firing away. Who is in the Campsport Fire car at the moment, I believe?
I believe that should be Christian in there.
So Christian Kelly, believe at the wheel. Who is? Oh, okay. So Christian Kelly has just come back from a tonsil operation.
Oh, right.
I've seen lots of videos on the internet. I went on the internet this week and I found this. Of people coming back from one of those. And the fact that he's driving in a sim right now.
And putting that time.
I think the process was about a week ago, though.
Right, okay.
I think it was. So I think he's recovered from the anaesthetic.
Yes. Well, this is his recovery. 10 days ago.
10 days of recovery he's had, and he's back in the car.
It's like I said, to be able to have something like that a week ago and then to come back and do something like this. I can imagine, this is a good recovery. As a recreational activity, this is...
Yeah, it's
takes your mind off it, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. I wouldn't be focusing on my tooth hurting. No, not at all. No, excellent. There we go. Not long left to go. 1 minute 40, and there's Jaguar doing exactly the same as Campsport Ice. Can they recover it as well as Campsport Ice? No, they hit the brakes and just gently bring it back onto the circuit. So nicely done from them. But I say it was lucky that Campsport Ice, there was no one else around them. Otherwise, they could have had a massive crash.
Yep.
But no crash on this one. 1 minute 20 left on the timer. Lamatti Racing.
Wow.
Out of nowhere in the BMW. 129.798 from them. That demotes Campsport Fire and Ice into second and third. A split grid in terms of first and second row.
I think what we're going to see now is the cars will start this session with a full tank. So I think what we're going to find now is people are going to do laps and laps and laps. For the last 3 or 4 minutes is what we've seen. Possibly Racing RS, my team, I can confirm, just now putting another good lap time up to P5.
You can see Campsport Ice are in the pit lane as well as Team Jaguar. Now they're going to be pitting for a fresh set of soft tyres now, but they're not going to have time.
No, they won't.
They're not going to have time. They're in the pit lane. They've run out of time. 36 seconds remaining on the timer. These guys are going to get... Well, maybe not even one more lap in. I think these guys have pretty much had it. Here's Radicals. They're going to be on their final lap now. So where are Radicals out on circuit? They're in P6 at the moment. They are nearly 6 tenths of a second off the pace. So now they cross the line. Let's watch Radicals on their lap. This is their final lap. 16 seconds left on the clock. Here's El Bandito as well. They're going to get an extra lap in as well. They're P4 as well. So these guys incredibly, incredibly close. Let's just see what they do. 6 seconds left on the clock. Any more can go across the line? I don't think so. 2 seconds, 1 second. Qualifying checker flag is now out. These are the guys on their final laps. Radicals online. And then here we've got ACR Racing as well. They're on their final lap. I believe as well that is Excite the Barracuda on their final lap, as well as E-Team Brits. They're all on their final lap at the moment as we watch them go through the midfield sector. And that's the lap gone straight away from ACR Racing and bash into the wall hard. And that's going to massively damage the car. Luckily, they'll get a brand new one for the start of the race.
Yep.
So that is their lap and qualifying over for ACR with massive shame. Now, here's El Bandito in P4 at the moment. They've not made a mistake through this section here. Are they going to pick up the traffic of the recovering ACR? It looks like the ACR has stayed out of the way and just retired there and then. They've stayed out of the way of the track. They're making their way through the S's section as well. I believe, is that E-Team Brit there? Yeah, we've got them. They're coming out the final corner. Can they improve at all? Now, they are currently in P13. They've got Radicals online just behind them as well. The reigning champs just behind them. They're going to get a good tow from this as well. This is turning out well for them. Across the line, E-Team Brit backing out of it. They're going into the pit lane, so no new lap for E-Team Brit. Here is Casual Apex. I don't think they get on a flying lap at all. Because they missed the checker flag by quite a way. So they're out on track, but not on a quick lap at the moment. And trying to think where Radicals Online is. They will have crossed the line now.
No, P6 still.
Yep, P6 still for Radicals Online. No improvement for the Radicals as the rest of these cars now coming back into the pit lane. So on your screen there, that is the qualifying order that we can see. There's a shot of the venue. very, very busy now with 17 sims. We've squeezed a couple more. But there we go. As you can see there, Colin Talbot and Sean King from Cam Sport, absolutely elated with their progress there in the championship. And, you know, a P2 and a P3 for qualifying, absolutely fantastic from them. But the big shock, the big surprise, Lamatti Racing. Out of nowhere.
Absolutely. I think, like I said, Cam Sport Fire and Cam Sport Ice, they can take massive amounts of confidence going actually into the start of this race and also into the start of the championship. As we thought, obviously, until Lamatti Racing put in that absolutely blinder of a lap, almost a 10th quicker than Cam Sport Fire, which, let's be honest, Cam Sport Fire and Cam Sport Ice both putting in respectable lap times, very respectable lap times indeed. But Lamatti Racing pulling something out of the bag, I believe that was a very, thank you very much, Dan, that was a very, very good choice of tyres, also timing it pretty much perfectly as well.
I think timing was...
impeccable.
Yes, yeah, timing was a definite crucial one there for them. It was just out of nowhere. I was very surprised to see it, to be fair.
I know. We've got a Callum coming over, and...
A Callum. Well, let's get him on.
Yeah,
if you move the many tablets that we've got.
Come join us.
Let's get Callum Cripps from the reigning champs, Radicals Online, from the previous year. We'll try and get the small camera up as well. Small camera for a small person.
That was very interesting, wasn't it?
There we are there. So, yeah. So, P6 for you guys.
Yes.
Struggled with the pace.
Yeah, I think we were P3 until the dying moments, and then obviously Lamatti went quicker. A few others went quicker. I think El Bandito went quicker as well, so Will Dendy,
yes, El Bandito,
well.
yeah, they're up to P4.
They're ahead of us as well, who's I think is going to be the main threat in the race. Sorry, Cam Sport. But yeah, so we'll see, actually. It's good to see Cam Sport up there, to be fair. They nearly had a 1-2. But it's good to see
results.
them still really
Excellent,
up there.
tremendous.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Race Control. Grant Lyman from Simply Race. Yeah, so... Radicals on P6, you did a 1:30.369. You know, incredibly quick time. Nonetheless, you know, my fastest time's 1:35. I'm terrible around this track. But you know, there's nothing between these teams. Absolutely nothing between these teams.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, especially at Interlagos. We've done the 24-hour here before. It's always provided like great racing. So I think it really works where everybody knows the track because we've either done it before or they just know it from Formula One and then all the rest of it. So that's really important. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, the level's gone completely up this year.
It's gone way up this year.
Everybody's done a lot of testing, tyre testing, fuels, all the rest of it. So got the new car, the Aston. I prefer it over the Porsche from last year as well. So it's good to see a Porsche still up there and all the cars are still really close. Obviously, the BMW, I think, has a slight edge just around this track just by the nature of what it is. I was watching Lamatti on their lap time and literally using so much more wheel lock than we are. But that isn't going to help during the stint because they'll just scrub their tyres. So I think for a quick lap, it's going to be, you know, it's great. It's put them on pole, but for actual race stint, they can't drive. I don't think they'll be able to drive like that for an hour because the tyres will just go off immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm doing the start as well. So
are you doing the start? There we go.
I'll try not to send anybody.
It's going
I'll at least do one move.
Hold on. Let's look back to Okayama.
Yeah, that was a great move. Oh no, that was a terrible move.
It was a terrible move.
It was worth
and you got a penalty though.
Yeah, I know. Still won.
And I was the race director for that one as well, and I had to deal with that. Having to deal with this man with a late send it. But I just suspect you saw a meme in your head that said #send it, and it just happened, and it just out of nowhere, straight down the inside. I can't remember the team. Was it Pink Panther? Wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a reason for that.
It was. It was Pink Panther as well.
Yeah,
but,
it was. Yeah, but yeah, it's obviously we're going to try and make a way forward. I want to be in the top 3 by the end of the stint at least. I'm going to double stint, I think, so I'll be doing 2 hours anyway. So yeah, let's see how they get on because I don't think the BMWs are going to last that long in their tyres, to be honest. So I'm just going to be silky smooth and try and make it to the front, but. Starting from 6th, I was hoping when we were P3 and P4, I was thinking it's okay, we can try and make some progress. But now I know Will Dendy's in the El Bandito car. I think he's starting, so might be able to latch onto him and work together because we've done that before. So let's see. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
See how it goes. Lovely.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for Callum for joining us, and we'll try and get some other teams. We've got a representative from Cam Sport here with us. He looks ready for an interview. Let's give him a go. He could probably fit on the camera. Let's squeeze him in as well. Come on, let's bring him in. If you see the size difference in these,
this is getting very personal here.
Getting very personal here on the sofas here. But yeah, we've got Sean King here from Cam Sport. Is it Cam Sport Fire or Ice? Ice.
Cam Sport Ice.
Cam Sport Ice. So how's it going? How was that? You know, what was that, P3?
It was going well until I stacked it, yeah.
Oh, you stacked it?
Yeah.
Oh, we missed that. You could have got away with that. Why didn't you tell it? Why did you tell
Well, I
us?
have to tell everyone because that's why I was in the pits. I pulled up and I couldn't go any faster. I gave up.
Oh dear. Let's see if we've got any questions. If you have got any questions for any teams, of course, get them in. We'll happily read them out to the teams. You know, let's see if we've got. And we've had, obviously, of course, the supporters for Camsport come in quite a lot. Rob Cuss coming in with lies. Callum Cripps is full send. But yeah, that was previous ones. Of course, you had Emily Wilson. That's Chris Wilson. He's one of the Camsport team in the Camsport team, saying, "I
We
reckon
could
it's gonna
lie
be a
and
close
say
race."
Chris did the lap and she'll be really happy then.
Well, yeah. Was it Chris that did the lap?
No, it was me.
Oh,
But
it
Chris
was
did
you
the
that
lap.
did the
Chris
lap.
did the lap.
Okay.
Yes, Chris did the lap. Yeah, it was all Chris.
Okay, it was all Chris Wilson. But yeah, a huge improvement from you guys as well. You know, we've seen you in years. You only had the one car, of course, and the team's grown dramatically as well over these seasons of SRES and in the DTM championships as well.
I think we own the DTM championship.
You do own the DTM championship. I think one of the classes got about 6 cars on the grid. Yeah.
Sorry, we're not there yet. We will be. Don't you worry. And then we'll both own it.
Is this DTM?
Yes.
Controversy.
I gave him my car to drive and he couldn't turn up because he was too tired after Bathurst.
Too tired?
He did like a massive Bathurst race, to be fair.
You did 12 hours?
Yeah, we did the iRace in 12 hours of Bathurst.
Yeah.
And it was just, and plus with Storm, what was it? Storm Ethel or whatever it was. Tiara?
Kira.
Kira, that's it. No, it's...
Oh, it's
yeah.
spelled with a C.
No, but yeah, that did, yeah, it was, no, don't worry, I will be there. Don't worry.
Excellent. Look forward to that. Positively racing in the DTM Championship.
I think you should be more
Positively
impressed
messing it up.
by the fire time. Because Christian Kelly set a rapid time in the fire car, and
Yeah.
I had no answer for it, because the answer I had to it was crash into the wall. So Christian Kelly is quick, and I think it was Matt Webb that set the pole time in the Lamati car. So, and like Callum said, we can't go that pace the entire hour. If we did, our tyres would be dead in the first 15 minutes. So we're going to calm it down a bit for the race, I think, and just try and take it easy.
Just focus, use each other, you know, use the slipstream.
Yeah, and I'm not starting the race. So
No, who's starting the race?
it'll be Chris Wilson. Chris is going to start the race.
Chris
for
in
us.
the ice car.
Yeah,
Who's in the
because-
fire car?
I think it's going to be Matt. I'm not 100% sure.
Think it's Matt.
I think it's Matt. It's either going to be Matt or Ben.
Okay. Well, there you go. So stick around for the start of the race. See the Camsport guys. You know, probably your best qualifying result ever in SRES.
I think we did quite well at Red Bull as well, if I remember, because we were in the top 3, I think, there as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I
we-
don't think I was here for the Red Bull one,
we-
so that's probably why I missed
Yeah,
that.
and we led the race for a while as well, didn't we? So
Oh no! Wait, the Red Bull. I was here.
Yeah.
So we were commentating. Yeah, I was here. Clearly, just not paying attention. I do that a lot. You'll get to know me. So, race control. Over the microphone, we're getting ready for the race. The guys are getting ready for the pods.
This
Thank
is
you
it.
very much, Sean King from Camsport. Thank you very much for staying with us.
Oh,
please
yes.
update. Yeah.
That's one thing they do have to do, actually. This is one thing that they do have to do, is update the race team driver. So we've got a little Excel spreadsheet actually up on the main control base thing.
Race control.
That's it. That one. We've got an Excel spreadsheet. What we have to do, as soon as one driver gets in the car, we then have to update that Excel spreadsheet so that we can see on the stream who's actually in and we're actually talking about the right person. So it's in everyone's best interest to make sure that we are actually talking about the right person.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just saying, we've got a few more comments coming in on the Simply Race stream. We've got Red Baron, last the first challenge for Radicals, let's go.
Yep.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but, you know.
I've also had a message as well. Phoenix are now Pure Motorsport. So I did wonder where Phoenix had gone.
okay.
So Phoenix are now Pure Motorsport. I didn't know that.
No.
So there we go. So clearly, again, not paying attention. So Graham coming in with a great lap from our Rob, but Jack pipped him. Nice work, Excite. There we go. So that will be obviously Jack Ashton from Excite Barracuda. Again, please don't type that in on Google. Rob Cut. Radicals. Oh, microphone code. When are they? Thought they were P2 Red Bull Ring. Yes, believe so. They could have been P2 from Red Bull. So a joint.
Yes.
Best.
Well, I mean, it's
qualifying.
consistent.
Yeah, consistency.
You know, if you're ending the season, and qualifying with that sort of pace, and you're coming back into the start of the season with that sort of pace, it must be a massive confidence boost, to be perfectly honest. I would imagine anyway. I'm just looking quickly at the times, and I'm genuinely astounded at how close it actually is. This is going to be incredible. I really, really do think this will be so close from start to finish. I said, when you've got, I mean, let's take, I mean, the top two, obviously, 29.7 and 29.8. But then if you look, P3 to third to sixth, third to sixth, there's a 10th in it.
Yeah. Nothing.
That's literally nothing.
Nothing. They should be one big blob of cars going around the track at 1 for 6 hours, which would be fantastic.
It'd be great
to see.
for us, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't stop commentating on it. And I've just realised as well that we had food delivered to us and I've not eaten it.
Have you not? You should probably go and do that, shouldn't you?
No, I've not eaten my food. I've just wondered, my stomach's rumbling. Why am I hungry?
Why.
There we go. So we'll try. But we've got the race start to go.
I know.
Enjoy that first. Again, keep your comments coming in. We are trying to look at them as best as possible. It's just my phone keeps locking itself.
Yes, same.
So I keep having to unlock it.
35
and,
people
back.
watching, though.
Oh, I'd say 32.
Oh, maybe mine's catching up. But 35
Maybe it's
people.
catching up.
It's good that, like I said, we're seeing a lot more. Esports becoming massive now, and it's good to see. And we do appreciate everyone's support on the Simply Race channel. It's good to see. It's good to see that we're seeing an increased number of people watching.
It is. We were going to put it out on my Twitch page as well, but unfortunately, due to bitrate issues or some other doobry whatsits, that didn't happen. More comments coming in. Graham, he's come in with Excite the Barracuda and Minerdi are the only two Corvettes, and it's ace to be so close on lap time to them. So there we go. Excellent to see from that one. Rob Cuss coming in. We do have a new driver, Mark Fletcher. First time out on R Factor. There we go. He only started practice on Tuesday.
Fair enough.
For Mark Fletcher, for Radicals Online. There
to
we
have
go.
to learn a sim,
Yep.
which is, especially if you're going for somewhere to. Sorry, are we still?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
If you're having to learn a new sim, going from somewhere like iRacing to R-Factor 2, it's a massive change.
Yeah.
And having to relearn that sim.
There we go. Well, I believe the cars are heading out for their warm-up lap. We'll switch to that now. You can see the drivers in the sims, and here we go. Race start time. This is what you've all been waiting for. The kickstart of the 2020 Simply Race Endurance Championship. Season 4 in total, and there you can see the gaps at the moment. That's gaps again on the main board to first place. I believe when you see the car, you see the little board in the bottom corner that will tell you the gap between themselves and the next car in front, so you will still have all that information. Two different camera angles that we've got there, and we're looking here at the surprise. It's definitely a surprise for me, though. Not on the radar for me at all.
No,
Lamati
honestly,
Racing.
which don't tell it as a bad thing.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't think we really paid much attention, really, to sort of,
No.
And then all of a sudden, like I said, to come out with that sort of, timing for those guys, and said to put a lap time in like that, so near the end of the session, very, very impressive. And they timed it to absolute perfection. They're going slightly wide, going into sector 2, but it's fine. It's fine. We don't need to worry about that.
Well, as you can see, the BMWs dominating the top 3 at the moment. 1, 2, and 3, all Beamers, Lamati Racing, and the Camsport team. Then it's the Porsches, the mighty Porsches of El Bandito in 4th place. They're going to be breathing down their neck as they go through. As you can see the rest of the team. Here is one of the other Porsches, Pure Motorsport. This was previously Phoenix, and they've got Avati Racing just behind them as well in that, again, nice striking BMW livery. And the 2 Corvettes next to them just behind Scuderia Minerdi and Excite the Barracuda, 9th and 10th place. Now, I believe this is standing start, of course.
Yes.
So they're making their way around. They'll be stopping on their relevant grid slots, and then it's a dive to the braking zone of the SRES for the first time of 6 hours. And all the brake lights starting to come on now. You've got a great shot here of the start-finish straight. You'll just see the cars come into view now. There they are, Lamati Racing, Camsport Fire and Camsport Ice. The 3 BMWs at the top. They all separate now and go into their grid slots. Final little tyre warming there from the El Bandito team, and as well as Camsport Fire. The 2020 season is almost upon us.
This is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be great. These guys have been so quick on pace. It's been absolutely fantastic. Talking to some of the drivers as well, getting a real insight to the cars and how they perform out there is absolutely fantastic. And we're going to get this race series underway. 6 hours of Interlagos, and it's going to be a tough one. 17 cars, and you can see the timer there to 4 seconds. The green flag up in the air, and we're going to get 2020 season is a go, and it's a great start from all these guys as we go through. It looks like a very clean start. It's hard to tell who's in the lead. It looks like Camsport Fire straight away into the lead as we go to the big screen, as we look at Lamati Racing, as they go straight away down into P2. Positivity Racing missing the braking zone, going slightly wide at the start, but they managed to get it back onto track, and it looks like it's all clean through turns 1 and 2, which you don't see very often.
No, you don't. Going through the SRES, really, really incredible. Fair play to everyone for going nice and easy. You can see Camsport Fire just trying to get out of the tow, not trying to give Lamati Racing any opportunity to try and gain any advantage on them going into this early stages of the race.
Already teams flashing their headlights furiously as they try to go through, and there's already drama. I can hear it in the background, not sure why. Camsport Fire absolutely, Camsport Ice, sorry, neck and neck with the Radicals Online. Radicals around the outside as they go through this very fast infield section. It's about a 4th gear, and we've seen many teams lose the back end there, as we can see the battle for the lead at the front there. Lamati Racing and Camsport Fire having a good little scrap. But here on your screen, you've got Positively Racing RS and El Bandito. El Bandito losing a position to Radicals Online straight away at the start. Very defensive and looking to the inside as well of the Radicals Online. Aston Martin can't quite get anything done here as we near the end of lap 1 of 6 hours here at Interlagos. Everyone getting through the first couple of laps very clean. We've got a great helicopter shot here of the grid as they head through the final corner up to the start-finish line again for the first time to end lap 1 of 6 hours. Radicals Online with the headlights on. I think after flashing the headlights furiously, they've accidentally left them on. Don't tell them that it actually hinders your performance. There we go, as they go through. El Bandito with a great slipstream, pulled to the inside. Are they going to go down the inside of the braking zone? It doesn't look like they managed to get it done. No, they absolutely missed themselves. No, but they do. They do manage to do it. Radicals Online actually go wide as well. So El Bandito managing to push themselves back up into their original qualifying spot of P4. But now they've got a bit of a challenge to close that gap up now to Camsport Ice and Lamati Racing. As you can see, Lamati Racing and Camsport Fire absolutely running away in the distance as we have this now group of Porsche. It's kind of a Porsche Corvette Aston Martin sandwich that we've got here further back for P4 to P8 as these guys absolutely flying through. But a great start nonetheless.
Absolutely. I think what we can take is everyone's being relatively sensible. There's been some great racing. One thing is Sector 2, I think especially, is going to be incredibly difficult for the drivers. You think there is no opportunity to let off going through Sector 2. So it is an incredible amount. When you're supposed to be racing, you've got people behind, people in front. As you can see on your screen, you've got Radicals Online trying to get past El Bandito. They're a little bit closer, going very, very late into the brakes, coming through the last sector. It's all very, very close. Admittedly, obviously, Camsport Fire and Lamati Racing have absolutely disappeared off into the distance. Not too sure if Camsport Ice are trying to do something in terms of trying to maybe sort of back the pack up a bit. Not too sure if that's the thing that they are going to be doing. But
well, I was made sure via the team of Camsport there are no team orders in place.
No team orders, okay.
There are no team orders.
Okay.
They haven't told the Camsport Ice team to back the rest of the pack up while us two fight away. You know, these guys, apparently they're all just go for it. Do your best, see what you can do. Earlier on to the incident that we feel like we did have out there, I believe it may have involved Red Shell Racing and Casual Apex. You can see they're 16th and 17th place, 16 seconds off the race lead at the moment. As you can see, the gap to and from for Radicals Online just behind, absolutely nothing, neck and neck in this little back pack of 4 cars. Camsport Ice, El Bandito, Radicals Online, and Positively Racing. There's a very late move under braking from the El Bandito team to the inside. Casual Apex are nowhere in this site, so I don't know why I even mentioned their team. It was Camsport Ice that I meant to say, yeah. Camsport Ice now under trouble.
Wow, it's very, very close. Radicals Online going around the outside, going into turn 2. Gone a little bit wide, though. Camsport Ice going to try and come back. They might very well do. It's very, very close. A little bit of contact there. It looks like Pos Racing RS lost out there to Excite the Barracuda. They've come back and come storming through it out of nowhere. But as we can see, a replay here. I'm guessing this is a replay of turn 3, 4, this is?
I believe this is the start of the race. This is Casual Apex getting it all kinds of wrong. And it looked like they completely missed the braking zone, yeah. And unfortunately, Red Shell Racing bore the brunt of that one because they just tried to get out of the way. And you can see the car absolutely scraping. Look at the damage to the front of that Porsche.
That split the damage, definitely. That's going to put them out. I'm guessing they might even just carry on going. 6-hour race, is it worth trying to pit and trying to take all the damage if you are losing that much? Again, it's so early in the race, it's hard to tell.
It is indeed. It is indeed. The gap seems to have opened up slightly with this mid-pack now. As you can see, the Radicals Online Aston Martin absolutely flying through the SRES. and they're right on the tail end now of El Bandito. Now, we were talking to Callum, of course, he was starting the race. He said he wanted to work together with Will Dendy, who's starting the race for the El Bandito car. From what we've seen so far, it looks like that's the case as he looks to the inside. It's a very late touch, and they make contact, and round goes the Radicals Online Aston Martin, and get collected as well by another Porsche. I think it was the Pure Motorsport Porsche that clipped them. What a disaster from them so early on into the race. You can see the Pure Motorsport Porsche pulling to the side there as well, and that's a huge disaster for them. There's Scuderia Minerdi and the other Corvette. They've not managed to get a great start from themselves. They've managed to lose time from Excite the Barracuda. They're the other car in the Corvette, who were level in qualifying, but as you can see now, P11 for them, Excite the Barracuda in P5, so they've not had the best of starts, but they are right behind E-Tim Brick now with that beautiful livery and that Aston Martin, and again under pressure from now the recovering Aston Martin of Radicals Online. Callum's going to be absolutely hitting himself for that.
I can imagine, Will. Luckily, there was a little bit of contact, like I said, from Pure Motorsport, but luckily it wasn't too bad as Radicals getting a little bit late onto the brakes. It was just, as we see the replay here, I think
this is the bit where the damage is going to happen. That impact there with Pure Motorsport, you know, that's going to massively affect the front right part of that Porsche and hugely on the front left part of that Aston as well. Huge splitter damage. And, of course, damage is on for this one. And so I expect to see those guys in the pits potentially at the end of this lap. We can see that Pure Motorsport are in the pits, so they've had a significant amount of damage from that impact. Radicals Online have actually managed to stay out on track, so maybe they got away with that one.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to tell. I think what they're going to probably try and do is do 3 or 4 laps just to see the sort of pace, see if they're dropping off that much, and whether it is actually worth losing upwards, you know, well, however long it could be, however long the damage is to repair. They don't know until they actually stop in the pit lane. So it's a bit of a gamble where they want to take the repair on the car or not. But we can actually see that that is the Corvette of Scuderia Minerdi that's hassling the back of the Radicals car. So whether they are suffering from quite heavy splitter damage or suspension damage or something, we're not entirely sure. I'm sure we'll get a chance to speak with Callum later on in this race. But like you said, I'm sure he will be kicking himself with that, because that was, again, it was a bit sort of half and half, really. I don't think each driver knew what they wanted to do at the time. So not too sure if it's just one of those things that racing against at the end of the day is just a bit...
Yeah, it was a bold move. It was nowhere near alongside for that one, and you can see now, here's another replay. This is, look at that in the pit lane. 43 seconds at the moment in the pits. That little time you can see there on the car, great indication of how long he's in. Burst of power as they wheel spin off the line. That's a massive shame for Pure Motorsport, though. Massive shame. Back with the race, and that's Positively Racing RS down the inside of Excite the Barracuda. They move now up into P5. Obviously, you're going to be very happy about that, aren't you?
Yes, I am indeed. Yeah, that was a very good move. I think Positively Racing have actually sort of made up a fair few positions as well. They've gone back up into P7 now. I think, again, a lot of the incidents, luckily, that both of our cars avoided, which is always a good thing, always a positive thing.
Yeah, always good to avoid any collisions out there. But now you're right behind the third-place qualifying team, Cam Sport Ice.
Yes, I know. And like I said, it's going to be... El Bandito isn't actually that far up the road either, so... It's good to see, you know, I know we've only been driving for 9 minutes, but I think we can see sort of the general pace of the cars, and it is very close, you know, third down. As you can see, there's been some gaps opening up, like you said. This trainer here, you know, trainer 4 cars, it's really good to see that we're having this sort of race, and I think this will be similar throughout the entire 6 hours.
Definitely so, and of course these guys absolutely holding themselves up, really, I would say. El Bandito not quite on the pace. That gap has opened up to 6 seconds, nearly 7 seconds now from the front 2 teams. Cam Sport Fire absolutely running away with this at the moment, and they've also got themselves a 4 hundredths of a second gap between them and Lamatti Racing as well. Sorry, 4/10 of a second gap between themselves and Lamatti Racing in P2. But then both of those teams 6 seconds clear from the rest of the field.
Absolutely, it's to take that sort of to take that time out within 10 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the race is absolutely incredible. However, just following on from what Callum said earlier on, is it because the tyres, they are using more of their tyres up to try and gain this gap and trying to gain this advantage early on in the race? We've seen E-Team Brit trying to go down the inside of that Scuderia Minerdi. Unfortunately, didn't make that move work, but they're just showing their nose, letting Scuderia Minerdi know that they are there. As we're actually back onto this pack now, this is going to be... sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Then Cam Sport Ice trying to go around the outside, switching back to the inside, going through, up the hill, going down to the double right-hander. Side by side, this is going to be incredible. El Bandito are probably going to hold their line. I can't imagine why they would give it up that easily, and they're still side by side going through.
Not the ideal line for Camsport Ice. They have to switch back to the inside now. Under braking. Great move there from Camsport Ice. Managing to switch it round on El Bandito, and Positively Racing RS try to follow through. Can't quite do it. But an absolutely fantastic move from Chris Wilson there in the Camsport Ice BMW. Here for 6 hours of Interlagos. Brilliant move from him through that midfield section. El Bandito seem to be absolutely swamped now from Astons and Corvettes and BMWs all over the places. Porsche not seem to be on the pace here.
Not at the moment, whether it's to do with tyres or anything like that, we're not too sure. Maybe the Porsche doesn't handle its fuel load as well as the other cars currently at this stage of the race. We may see that completely change going through once the tyres and once the fuel gets burnt off. But we are on board with Positively Racing R, actually getting a very good view and a very good view of the racing that is happening up ahead of them. Whether they're going to try and capitalise on it, I'm hoping they will, because at the moment, obviously, all these cars are battling. Then the gap is going to get smaller, and hopefully these guys are going to be able to catch up. As we can see, Positive Racing RS going. Not too sure if there's a bit of contact there.
I don't think there was. I think there was a pretty crystal clean move. From that positioning, what we saw, it looked like a great move down the inside. That Porsche really, really struggling at the moment with that back end. You can see the back end squirreling all over the place. And here comes Excite the Barracuda as well to the braking zone. They're going to switch to the inside. No, can't quite do it there onto the inside. And they slot back into position. And it looks like Positively Racing there absolutely nailed that move into turn one.
Absolutely fair play. I'd like to see. I am partially biased.
Another
but
angle.
I'm sure the viewers would like to see a replay of that as well. For some reason the Porsche is just struggling a little bit. I think it was good for Camsport Ice at the moment and Pos Racing to actually get by El Bandito, because you can see the gap now. It's starting to increase.
I definitely know what's causing the El Bandito car to not have the pace. Look at the size of that antenna sticking out the back of that Porsche. Absolutely cutting into the wind there. I'm sure that's going to be causing absolute carnage for the aerodynamics of that beautiful, beautiful Porsche. But you can see all over the back of the El Bandito Porsche is that Excite the Barracuda Corvette. Absolutely all over the back end of this Porsche as they head through the final corner now, up the hill towards the start-finish line. This is the crucial moment. If we stick with this camera angle, just watch the toe, the slipstream that Corvette's going to get on this back straight now. If you time it perfectly to get to the inside, you can see it slowly starting to reel in. If you don't get a good exit out of the final corner, though, the toe won't take effect. But if you nail the exit, you get a really good toe along the inside here. As we switch to the onboard camera, no move this time around, stays there. As you look there, it looks like the Porsche of El Bandito going a little bit deep into the braking zone and turning slightly earlier than what the other car's doing. Here's a replay of what happened earlier on. This is the move for Positively Racing, straight down the inside, absolutely. Eye of a needle there, wasn't it?
That was a Daniel Ricciardo lick it and send it. That was, wasn't it?
You can see there, El Bandito could see the incoming logo. They just saw your logo and just thought, oh, best get out the way.
That's what put them off. It was the massive AD logo on there.
It was indeed. They looked like they got out the way there. So, yes, okay, they've lost a position, but no damage.
No.
They're still behind.
No, it's clean.
And
no,
they're
absolutely.
on the pace. You know, that's what they needed to do. Camsport Ice now under pressure from said Positively Racing RS car. Who is behind the wheel of that at the moment?
Luke Bennett at the moment.
Luke Bennett behind the wheel of that.
Incredible times and incredible moves. Like I said, absolute fair play to him. It's going to be interesting because at the moment, Camsport Ice, they haven't got a toe, whereas all the other cars behind, they do. So this is going to be interesting going into this corner, providing that everyone behind Camsport Ice can get a good exit, which I don't think Camsport Ice have got a very good exit at all. So if Pos Racing and Luke Bennett can get a good toe going into turn one, whether he's going to do a carbon copy of what we did to El Bandito, this is going to be the question. We're going to find out in a second.
4-car slipstream time, and here comes Positively Racing. They've got the toe, they pull out, they go to the outside this time.
That's brave.
Of Camsport Ice. Camsport Ice going very defensive in towards turn one. Round the outside, can they get it done? They've got the loose part of the circuit. They have to slot back behind. They can't quite do anything now. And now they're under pressure from El Bandito, who managed to come back. I've got people going, ooh, and ahs around me, and it's really putting me off track as they come in towards the turn 4 braking zone. Absolutely side by side with El Bandito, almost knocking wing mirrors now. Little bit of contact as they go through into the braking zone, but Positively Racing RS hold on to that braking zone. And who's behind them now? Positively Racing R. Both Positively Racing cars in this little pack now. It's all happening in this midfield section. El Bandito getting loose, looking to the inside. Maybe there was contact with Excite the Barracuda. Excite the Barracuda going around the outside again of this corner. We know it's a slippery part of the circuit, and they do run wide as they go through. Again, a little bit of contact with El Bandito and Positively Racing RS. And it's all going all 100 miles an hour here at this midfield section with 5 hours, 45 minutes. We're 15 minutes into this race, and these are, calm down, fellas. There's plenty of time to get the end of this race. So as they go through, they all slide back into position, and I think Positively Racing have made a mistake further back. They've dropped back, and Radicals Online, recovering Radicals Online, back up into P7. But now you can see here from this fantastic helicopter view that you can see these guys have opened up a bit now. They've spread out through that slipstream action, but fantastic stuff from these guys.
Absolutely. Like I said, pretty clean. There was a little bit of contact, but at the end of the day, Robin is racing. No one lost out anything in that sort of sense. So it's all good. It's really good to see, and hopefully everyone that's watching the stream now is enjoying themselves, because this has been some fantastic racing. Like I said, we're seeing some oohs and ahs being thrown about all over the place from people that are sitting watching it. As we can see, the Pos Racing RS car going through Camsport Ice. As I said, they still haven't got a tow, so everyone behind them now is going to be catching them up. So it's going to be interesting to see how Camsport Ice can defend into Sector 2. Difficult place to overtake, but we have seen it done in the first 15 minutes, so there's no reason why no one can do it again.
No, definitely so. And as you can see through this section, these guys are bunching back up again, and we're going to get a replay of all of that happening again. Excite the Barracuda not managing to hold on to that one too much, but El Bandito, after that massive moment, they got a bit loose on the infield section. It looked like they had a bit of contact from Excite the Barracuda further behind. Again, I couldn't quite see from the angle that we had, but it definitely looked like that, a very sporadic move from the yellow Porsche as they go through. P5 currently for them, it's 4th and 3rd just in front, and you can see the gaps in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen to the cars. Onboard shot here from Excite the Barracuda, a driver's eye view from that beautiful Corvette. The inside view of that car is absolutely fantastic. I drove one of these cars not long ago on the sim, not in real life. If anyone here knows anyone who has a Corvette C7R that wants to let me borrow it, please do let me know. For no price, of course. I'll happily drive it for them. But yeah, as you can see here, back on there, you've got to watch that inside curb going up here.
I know.
It's super, super high, and you can really throw the car off.
Absolutely, avoid it at all costs. So we can see, I think, just up ahead, Positively Racing RS going around the outside again of Camsport Ice. They're going to try and do a carbon copy of what they did last time. However, it's not going to work. And then
El Bandito.
From absolutely nowhere is El Bandito making the move. I think there was definitely contact there from what I saw.
There was a little bit of contact, definitely, from El Bandito on Positively Racing RS, and Positively Racing RS now under pressure from Excite the Barracuda. Excite the Barracuda with the inside line now as we go into the red. No, they haven't, sorry, they switched sides, so Excite the Barracuda got the outside line, and they can't quite do it here side by side. Are they going to try and hold the power? They run wide, they get loose slightly, but no, they get back on, and it looks like that sign sealed and done as they go round into the infield section. They've got the inside line here for this very tricky fast corner, about 4th or 3rd gear. I'm not sure what gear it is, but third I'm being told. There we go as they go through, but it looks like that has been done. These guys are so close still, it's hard to tell if they're going for a late lunge. I think it's done now. So there we go. So with that contact from El Bandito, I'm sure we're going to get a replay from it. And I'm sure you would like to see a replay of that as well. And I think we have got it here. Yes, El Bandito with the bandit move of this entry. Under braking, looked like there were.
Was there any contact? I think Luke actually backed out of it.
I think he did back out of that, to be fair, and I think he just had the wrong racing line for the second part of the corner. So again, no damage.
No,
but
fair enough.
It was a very late lunge.
It was, yes. I think if Luke had actually followed, I mean, you could probably see from that replay there, if Luke had followed his line going into turn 1, there definitely would have been some contact made. But fair play to Luke for avoiding it, and also, from El Bandito, a very, very... here we go. That's from very far back. I think we're just going to see if there was any contact. I don't...
No, he backs out of it there. You can
does.
see there, last-second decision.
Yes.
Goes full lock the other way. That was a very bold move.
Optimistic, I think.
Optimistic.
I think that's the word to use.
It was indeed. If ever I could see a time to put #send it, that's it.
Indeed.
Chat, do be proud.
I thought the one that Luke made on that was a bit, that was a send it, but I think that's definitely the new benchmark going into turn 1.
Definitely so.
But as you said, there was no contact. We've got another replay here actually from on board. This is...
Yeah, look at that. You could see the steering wheel move. Last minute direction change to get out the way, and you can see there too much curb, lost the back end slightly on board there from the Positively Racing Aston Martin. Back now with the Radicals Online Aston Martin. Again, fantastic livery that they've got out there. A lot of damage to the front of that car though. As expected, they had contact earlier on in the race with Pure Motorsport. They also collected them. Pure Motorsport had to pit though. These guys have not pit. And you can see the visible damage to the front of that Aston Martin, but they're still on the pace and they're still closing that gap. You know, the gap down to the guys in front of them 8/10 of a second gap behind, 9/10 of a second. You can see that on the new overlay that we've got here, kindly provided. And
That's a good plug. Good
yes,
plug. I like that.
good plug. Yeah,
Good plug.
and it's absolutely fantastic.
That's, I think, and I do like this aerial view, actually. It gives you a greater sense of the gaps. I know looking at it saying 8/10, or what's 8/10 really, you can't really see. This gives a good observation of what actually these gaps obviously do represent. So at the moment, Radicals Online being sandwiched by both Positively Racing cars. I think people have started to settle into a rhythm more. Like I said, Positively Racing RS catching up. Oh, you can see contact. No, that's Cam. No, sorry, that's
Lamati Racing and
was
Cam Sport
Lamati
5.
Racing.
That's the battle for the lead on the small screen that you can see. And that's absolute drama at the front. They've managed to close back up. I'm not sure what happened for those guys to actually close up. There was a second between them in previous times. I'm sure Race Control, we're going to try and cut to that as we're looking at the Radicals Online. But as you can see there's drama going off in the background in the venue. And I'm sure it's all kicking off there in the Cam Sport Ice and Fire section. You can see it's all kicking off everywhere, really. As you can see, El Bandito's managed to get in front of Cam Sport Ice as well, as they tried to dive back down the inside through this section. We're kind of looking at one car further back than we want to be, as they all kind of goes untowards in front. And you can see there everyone slotting forward. So El Bandito getting in front now up into P3. There was verbal altercations going on in the venue.
Yes.
All friendly, but
yes.
a bit of oohing and ahhing again.
Yeah.
But, of course, yeah, drama at the front. And we saw on the smaller screen as well, drama at the front for the Cam Sport. So both Cam Sport Fire and Ice teams in trouble at the moment. Here's a replay. So this is Lamati on Cam Sport Fire. This is into the heavy braking zone of turn 4.
That's a
Under
lunge.
braking, it's a late lunge. Cam Sport already committed to the corner. Lamati Racing absolutely nowhere alongside. If anything, if there's contact, it's definitely on Lamati. There is contact there, slight as they go through.
I think Lamati did, though. I believe you'll see in a second, they did actually brake and give Cam Sport Fire that position back. So fair play, they actually recognised the mistake that they made.
Recognised the mistake after the damage, though.
That's the only problem. Yes, it is unfortunate they have had some damage, but as you can see there, Lamati Racing, they did actually brake and let Cam Sport Fire through. But I said, by that point, the damage has already been done. As we can see, the Corvette trying to make a move.
Oh, no! Contact there.
Oh.
And you can see the Positively Racing Aston Martin make contact with the Corvette of Excite the Barracuda. That's gifted 2 positions now to the recovering Radicals Online, who go back up now in towards P5. But absolute drama in this mid-pack now as drivers getting flustered with all the moves going through and the wanting to get those positions up and out of the way.
I know. I'd like to. I'd like to see a replay of that because it all happens so quick. By the time you've recognised and seen what's happened, you don't really know. As we can actually see, we've got a replay of it here, so we can see the Corvette pulling out and then just pulling back in.
Yeah, you can see that. So, of course, they are entitled to do that.
Absolutely.
I just don't think Positively Racing were ready for that.
No, I don't think so. As well, what you've got, whether how much difference it will make, you've got the loss of aero all of a sudden coming through with the car in front. You will lose braking. You do have to brake a little bit earlier when you're behind a car, purely because you lose a bit of that aero, obviously, from the rear wing. So, yeah, I just think it was one of the things. It caught Positively Racing RS off guard a little bit, but Corvette going down, trying to go around down the inside of Radicals Online, trying to hold it around the outside, though, side by side going into the Senna S's, and Radicals Online still staying ahead.
Yep, good defensive driving then from Callum Cripps, managing to keep the Excite the Barracuda Corvette at bay. Positively Racing coming back. There's Excite the Barracuda moving right out of the way. And now are they going to look for a move down the inside here? Now Radicals Online go defensive, and that's giving a position back. So that's, again, Positively Racing going back up another position. That's Positively Racing R. That's gone back up another position. Not sure what's happening in that mid-pack there with why it looked like they just gave the position up there.
Yeah, not entirely sure if there was anything that happened through Sector 2 or Sector 3 that we missed. But yeah, so actually we've had Pos Racing R and Pos Racing RS swap position this lap. As we see, that was Scuderi Minardi getting very, very choppy going through on the exit of turn 6, that was, I believe, or turn 5. Don't know what happened there. Probably get on the power a little bit soon. Also, as well, we've got to take into account, you can actually choose what traction control setting you're running. So it looked like they were, whether they're running with traction off or something, but got a little bit sketchy there. So I don't know if they'll be putting the traction control back up.
Well, maybe so. And of course, I think teams, the reason why they do something like that is, of course, with the tyre degradation that they've got out there. You know, when the tyres scrub off quite a bit of the rubber, the traction control level goes up. But when they've got fresh tyres, traction control is off, and, you know, they can get the most out of the potential of that car. Now, a couple of messages that we've seen as it's all a bit chilled out a bit now.
Yes.
We've got a bit drama. It still is a bit drama, but they've all lost in position. There's a bit of a position change further back. But a warning actually went out to Camsport Ice for moving under braking. But that was 20 minutes ago.
Right,
So
okay.
as you can see, I'm on the ball with keeping an eye from the race control messages. Back, of course, to the YouTube feed as well. I'm keeping an eye on that one. Keep your comments coming in. This is turning into a 6-hour touring car race. That's come from Benny. Yes, Benny, I think you've hit the nail on the head on that one. We've seen more drama in this first half an hour of this 6-hour than you'd see in any race whatsoever.
Yeah, it is like having a touring car race.
It is, yeah. GT touring cars, there we go.
Which isn't really not something that we really want to see. You want to be something that's, I think, slightly less of contact than touring car. We've actually got, this is Scuderia Minerdi trying to go round the outside of the Positively Racing RS car. I'm guessing that there's some damage because Luke has all of a sudden dropped off. Fair play, that was a very, very good move indeed. As I hear Mike clapping in the background. Yeah, very, very good move, but it'll be interesting to see because I think Pos Racing RS, we are losing the team's losing a fair bit of time. So whether it's worth actually jumping in the pits and trying to repair the damage and hopefully to have no incidents, or what we're going to try and do is potentially go and do this whole stint to try and keep the pit windows the same.
Yeah, definitely so. Here is the sister team, Positively Racing R. They are up into P6. They've got very heavy damage to their car as well. And you can see under pressure from the Corvette of Excite the Barracuda, who again look to the inside of the braking zone here and very late on the brakes, almost collecting the back of the Radicals Online Aston Martin car.
Well held. Well
held, yeah, through it, but now they're all under all kinds of pressure from that Corvette, who sweeps around the outside now as we go onto this back straight section. A good exit out of this corner is crucial for the braking zone here. Positively Racing are on the inside, though. They've got the favourable line, but have they managed to do enough to keep alongside? Yes, they do. They keep them behind, or side by side at least, as they go through this next section. Now, Excite the Barracuda have got the favourable line now coming into this section now. Down into third gear, heavy on the brakes, but not too much. A dab of the brakes as they go through this section, and that looks like the move is done. Can they get the switch back, though, and go down the inside here? Second gear for this one. It looks like they tried to go for the move. They squeeze their nose down the inside. No contact made, and they have to slot back into position. A great effort for defensive, but not quite enough to keep the Barracuda at bay.
I know. Very, very good racing between the two of them. Like I said, no contact, which is what we like to see. And at the moment, the pace of the Corvettes has actually picked up quite surprisingly. We are actually now on, as you can see, we're on your screen now is Camsport Fire. Gap to second, 1.7. So they are starting to pull away a gap. Looking at the gap to El Bandito, the gap is now up to 14 seconds, almost 15 seconds now. So these two are actually pulling away with some incredible times. And at the moment, it doesn't seem to be any let-up of the times and the actual pace that they're giving out.
Yep, exactly that. And of course, we did see the gap earlier on. It was holding at 16 seconds, but of course, they had the drama earlier on, with these guys battling away. Here's the recovering Pure Motorsport Porsche. They had the collision earlier on, and there's more contact there. This is actually still live with us. This is Positively Racing R.
That was Scuderia Minerdi, isn't it?
Yeah, Scuderia Minerdi. Very much unlike them in the Corvette to see them in a tussle. An aggressive tussle, that is, out on the track, and the two sister cars next to each other now, both Positively Racing cars, Aston Martins, next to each other here in P7 and 8, very close to each other. Here's a replay of Scuderia Minerdi. So this is what happened on the start-finish line. They see they've got that toe very early on. They've pulled out of the braking zone and managed to get alongside. As we cut back now live. No, here we go. We are still replay. There we go, yeah. So they slightly missed the braking zone. Positively Racing avoided.
A little bit of contact.
Little bit of contact through that section there, and that's what we saw. That's what we cut to when we went back live. So, yeah, there we go. Nice replay there. Back live now, and you can see that they're still behind is Scuderia Minerdi in that Corvette. And, again, we've seen huge improvements from the Scuderia Minerdi team while they're out there. But, these guys absolutely fighting hard to get through. Both Positively Racing teams now neck and neck again. Are you guys going to be working together?
Well, to be honest, this is something that I don't know. The team have been obviously both drivers. Again, I think much similar to Camsport Ice and Camsport Fire, it is very much a just go. As we can see, Luke Bennett making the move down the inside in the RS car of the Positively Racing R car, and that is the position made. It didn't look, to be honest, like there were any, there was no backing off or letting off or anything like that, so by the looks of it, they are racing. We've actually now got Scudder and Nerdy probably going to get a good run going down into turn 4, I believe this will be now. So as we can see the camera...
This is a very static camera that we're looking at here.
There we go.
There we go.
And we see Scudder and Nerdy getting up the inside of Positively Racing R, but Pos Racing R looking to get the run back. I don't think they're going to make it now. I think Sector 2 will just be now follow the Minerdi car, follow the Corvette, and see if they can make the move going down into turn 1. If they can get a good tow and get a good exit off the last corner, that's probably one of the safest moves, I think, to make on turn 1.
I definitely think a safe move to make is definitely shortening your team name as well.
Yes, I think Pos Racing. That's
I think Pos R and Pos RS.
Yes,
I think
okay,
is
we'll
what I'm
do
going to
that,
go
yes.
for now, because trying to say Positively Racing RS in one very quick motion is a difficult one to do. Here's a replay then of the Minerdi Corvette going down the inside for P8. Absolutely fantastic done. Lick the stamp and send it. Beautifully done. You can see the battles further up ahead. They're starting to get a bit close as well now with the recovering Radicals Online Aston Martin. Back up into P5. Camsport Ice is just in front of them as well. Again, you can see the gaps that you can see here. Gap to P10. Obviously, we're looking at Positively Racing, or Pos R here.
There we
you can
go.
see the gap in front, 0.6 of a second. The gap behind, 1.2 seconds. And that, of course, will be for Avanti Racing. And with that very striking livery on the BMW, that's going to be the one to watch. Here is back further up the field. Camsport Ice under pressure from the Radicals Online Aston Martin. And earlier on as well, I did see a warning from race control up on my telephonic device. But they did get a warning for flashing the headlights in corners, Radicals Online. So they have already been warned about that half an hour into a 6-hour endurance race. And you can see here in P4, the number 12 BMW is running well at the moment. What have you found?
Well, I was just looking at the time, because obviously I know that Pos Racing RS actually had that little bit of content. I'm just trying to look at sort of times, and I think the times that people are getting, I'm just trying to look on the actual telemetry that we've got here. I think the gap at the moment, it's around sort of people are averaging anywhere between sort of a low and a high 32s. Camsport Fire and Lamati Racing at the moment are both they're in the 31s.
Right.
They're doing some mega quick lap times. The rest of the field sort of like third to about 10th are averaging sort of in the 32s. So I was just really seeing, you know, if anyone's sort of putting in some quicker lap time than others, but everyone seems to be sort of a level playing field now.
Yep, here we go. Drama at the back of the field. Excite the Barracuda going down the inside of Radicals Online into turn 1. It looks like they've made that move done there behind the Camsport Ice car. And they now move themselves up into P5. Radicals back down into P6. So Radicals still struggling there with that car. I believe it's still Callum Cripps at the wheel, as he's still got the slipstream now. The first thing you want to do after being overtaken is try and get that position back within that same lap. Otherwise, you've definitely lost the momentum. And as you can see, that gap's opened up. The only opportunity I think he had was into that braking zone. And he's massively dropped back actually through there. So I'm really struggling with that Aston Martin Vantage with Radicals Online. Again, another nice helicopter view here. You can see Excite the Barracuda on an absolute flyer at the moment. They're right behind Camsport Ice as they try and close this gap now in that midfield. Now, this very tricky section of the track, much earlier on the brakes than people think. Again, because it shoots downhill on the apex, that when you get on the power, it actually runs out wide. So crucial racing line is key. Flat out through this section here, and then heavy braking again into P2, or second gear, I should say, and then back up the gears. Are you third through there?
We are. No, we're in second.
You're in
we're in second. The main thing, you want to stay off the inside curb, and you also want to stay off of the outside curb on the last corner. As soon as you hit the outside curb, it actually slows you down. The way that the curbs behave around this track, they do not suit the cars well, and you do lose up to, if you have a particularly poor exit, you can lose a 10th just by running over the curbs.
Exactly
so not ideal. I was just saying that as we see, this is Team Jaguar, I think, making a move on Casual Apex. No, that's not Casual Apex.
Yes, it is.
It is Casual Apex.
Yeah.
I was right.
You got it right.
Making a move going through. I think that's in sort of the latter half of 30, but actually Casual Apex making the move back, going side by side, going through the the last sector, this is going to be very, very close indeed. I think Team Jag, getting a little bit sideways. I think they've held it. No, they haven't by the looks. Hope they're not going to collect it. Anyone? No. Fair play. That was a
textbook. There we go.
Impressive. That deserves a round of applause. That does. Well held indeed. Unfortunately, losing a bit of time to that, but luckily no damage sustained, and everyone is still running. Happy days.
Lucky no tire walls in that section.
Yes.
So yeah, they got away with that. While we were watching that little battle, excitement happened further up the field between Excite the Barracuda and Camsport Ice. You could see them through turns 4. They tried to go around the outside of that heavy braking zone, couldn't quite do it, ran wide, lost a bit of time. Now they've concertinaed back up, and because these two are battling and squabbling, it's allowed Radicals Online to really close up to these guys now as well. So this is helping these guys out massively as we exit the final corner. Here's a replay of Red Shell Racing. Now what's happened to them through this section as a helicopter shadow whizzes past through this very fast third gear corner, losing the back end there and straight onto the grass. Coming to a gentle stop out of harm's way. Looking for them, no damage, but they will have absolutely flat-spotted those tyres and turn them into 50Ps. Round the outside, Casual Apex. That's a very late move under braking. They're not going to have the momentum to pull it back round to the Apex. They managed to get the Apex to the second part of the corner, but that was a good attempt, but a failed attempt.
Unfortunately, yeah, they're going to have to watch out now because Radicals look like they got a much better run going through. So I think in Sector 2, they're going to start. It's amazing how if you get the first sort of the SRES wrong, it can upset the momentum for the rest of the lap. It's a lap where you don't really have any opportunity to actually let off and to breathe almost. So going through Sector 2, as you said, you've got to concentrate so hard. And as we can see here, Radicals actually now getting much, much closer to the back of Barracuda. It's getting very, very close. Camsport Ice braking very, very early going through, but that's probably the safest way to do it.
Yeah, conservative on the fuel,
absolutely.
Backing the pack up as well. This is allowing them to all concertina back up again. Casual Apex running wide slightly as we go into the braking zone. They go defensive from Radicals Online, which is going to it's not going to favour the exit line, but they still manage to hold on to that place. Stick around, folks, if you are watching on the stream. Of course, 20 minutes until we're going to see the first start of the fuel stops. They're going to be coming in around about the hour mark, I would say, that these tanks last. So stick around for that. Here is a replay of what happened. It's involving your car. What happened here? Very late on the brakes, and it looks like he's very sideways. The back's overtaking it much too fast into there. Back wheels locking up as well under braking.
I think he's going to hold that. Look at that. That's
if ever there was a promotion for Michelin tyres, there it is.
That is absolutely. That's. I mean, held it. Very well held. Very well held. Fair play.
Nicely
fair play.
done.
Lost a little bit of time. Luckily, obviously, tyres will take a bit of a beating from that. But all in all, there was no real time lost. Maybe sort of second and a half. But as we see, Camsport Ice at the moment still backing up the pack. So given the opportunity for Pos Racing, RS, and also Scuderia Minerdi to catch up with this group, Camsport Ice are going to have to watch out because, I know I keep saying it, but the tow going through, and we've both said it quite a lot, the tow going through into turn 1, providing there's if you get a bad exit, then you might lose 1 or even potentially 2 positions. At the moment, Camsport Ice have got no one in front of them to get a tow off of. Whereas, as we see Radicals Online getting very, very close to the back of the Barracuda car. Both Barracuda and Radicals are going to get a tow on Camsport Ice.
Yeah, definitely so. As you can see, going out to the braking zone, 2 separate camera angles that we've got here for this same battle in the mid-pack. Camsport Ice. You've got the Barracuda car, you've got Radicals Online, then it's positively RS and Scuderia Minerdi. Group of 5 cars, all different cars, BMWs, Aston Martins, Corvettes, and I don't think there's a Porsche in there, no. So no Porsche in this group, but 3 of the 4 selected cars that are available to these teams in this group here. 5 hours, 21 minutes left on the clock as they go round to complete lap 25 onto 26 now. Yellow flags in sector 2. And they clear quickly. Moving down the inside again. Scuderia Minerdi around the outside, losing the back end and going wide. They're going to have to concede that place. They won't be allowed to keep that. And you can see there that they move to the side and slot back in. So, again, I did see a comment from Graham from the team earlier on the YouTube chat. I can't take it. My heart. Well, I think an energy drink will sort that out. Or maybe it won't sort that out.